Hi everyone, it's Danny from Orchid Nature. Okay, today we're going to discuss about how to propagate orchids. Now there are a few orchids that can be propagated very easy and very fast. So for the purpose of this video, I will only refer to Oncidium type orchids, but also Cattleyas, Dendrobiums, and any other type of intergeneric orchids that do produce pseudobulbs like this. I'm not going to refer to Phalaenopsis orchids or Vanda orchids. They cannot be propagated like this. So we're going to discuss about two methods of actually propagating our orchids. The first one is division. Now division can be made when an orchid is pretty old and already has a lot of pseudobulbs and is quite big. You want to divide an orchid maybe because you want to share it with a friend, or maybe you just want to have two plants of the same kind, or you just don't like big bushy orchids. Division actually splits the plant in two, and you will have from one mature orchid to two mature orchids. So after division, you'll be left with two or more completely mature orchids that can bloom regularly and at any time a pseudobulb matures. As you can see, I already have two divisions out of my orchid here. I was forced to divide it because it wasn't coping with hydration. But I can perform another division for you guys here on camera because I do have a lot of friends who do want this particular orchid. So I will not work with this division. I will just show you how to divide this orchid. Now, to ensure that your division will grow normally and develop fast, just like a mature orchid, the rule is you need to have at least 3 pseudobulbs per division. And as you can see, my orchid does have quite a lot of pseudobulbs to choose from. Now, when you want to divide an orchid, usually you have to look for a natural dividing point. And in most cases, you will find it if you just try to split the orchid gently. I'm pretty lucky here because I can see the division point is right here. But these pseudobulbs are connected between them, so I will have to cut the connection in order to split this plant in two. Now you can use a sharp knife, you can use a scissors, or simply you can just rip this orchid, rip the connection. It's really up to you and how the orchid looks like. There are some orchids which are pretty tough to divide, so you do need to use a knife. But in my case, I think I can simply rip it apart. Now a few roots will break in the process, but the orchid most probably has a big root system since it grew healthy to this point. So what I will do now is just try to gently pull them apart. I see I have a rotten pseudobulb here as well. This will be removed, but for now I'm just interested in splitting this orchid in two. Okay, so my orchid is divided. A few roots indeed have snapped. If your orchid doesn't have as many roots as this one, you can definitely use a knife and try to untangle them. For Cattleya orchids, which have thicker roots, this works great. But for Oncidium types orchids like this one, you're bound to break some roots. Some of these roots might actually not be alive because they're too old. So this is one of the ways you can actually separate it. It looks kind of cruel, but it's not. This orchid has a huge root system and the new growths are already producing new roots here, so I'm really not worried of breaking these orchids' roots. Now after you've separated the orchid, you can go into your usual routine of repotting. If you want to disinfect the root system, go ahead and disinfect it. Remove as much of the old media as possible if the media is too old and breaking down. And also remove all sorts of dried sheets and leaves like this because they can start to decompose if they fall in the media. They can be a good hiding place for pests and snails and all of that. And of course, remove any pseudobulbs that might have rotten. These will not benefit your orchid in any way. So I'll go ahead and use my scissors to remove all these things that I don't need. Also, take a look at the root system and remove any dead roots. Leave only the live ones. And after you've done all of that, you can go ahead and repot this orchid into your preferred pot and preferred media and just care for it normally and adequate as the orchid requires. In no time, this orchid can produce a flower spike and can act as a perfectly mature orchid. Okay, so there you go. You have 2 mature orchids now. One you can share with your friends or just make your collection bigger. Okay, hope you enjoyed this video, and we have a part 2 in this because there's another way of propagating orchids. So check the description below and also the annotations at the end, possibly to view the second part of how to propagate Oncidium type orchids. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to see more videos, don't forget to subscribe, leave your comments and suggestions in a comment below, and visit orchidnature.com. Also, don't forget we have a giveaway. I will link you to the giveaway in the description as well. So if you want to enter the giveaway and possibly win some orchids, visit the description. Okay, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!